Welcome to the GrTwodays Championship with the Ultimate Racing League URL. This is round 2 of the GrTwodays Championship. We're here at LeMans, the Circuit de la Sarthe in France, and we'll be taking you around the circuit with the Lobby 2 guys. The race taking part just after Lobby 1 finished their 50-minute race, and I'll just sort you down through the grid after qualifying, and then we can get this race underway. So, on pole, we've got URL Mohammed Ali. Great performance at Nürburgring last week. He stuck it on pole here at the Le Mans circuit, so he'll be looking to take advantage of that and take maximum points here from Le Mans. In second place, we've got URL Rufus. He was in Lobby 1 last week, but he's experienced a few difficulties, and whether it's with his racing license or what it might be, he's had to drop down to Lobby 2, so we'll see if he can make use of his performance advantage to take the victory here today, as he's now in Lobby 2. In third place, we've got HKRT Paris, so the first of the Hellenic Knights racing team guys here in Lobby 2. I don't believe he had that tag on his name last week, so maybe he was a probationary member and he's now been given his full banner there, so he can now fly the flag for the HKRT. In fourth place, we've got Tiddy Milk. Tiddy Milk there in fourth, and HKRT Damien, one of the other guys from the HKRT racing team, in fifth. Pablo Jr. in sixth, and then we've got 7th HKRT Speed Demon, the third and final member in this lobby of the HKRT guys. And then in 8th, we've got Castrian. Castrian wasn't racing here last week. He couldn't get to Nürburgring, but he has managed to get himself across to France for this race. So it's good to see Castrian out on track. And then we've got Vane there in 9th. Followed by Carlsberg back there in 10th place. So, without further ado, let's get this race underway. As Mohammed Ali takes the klaxon as we start the race. Rolling starts here for this race, so we won't have any building up into turn 1 as we head off into turn 1 with Rufus looking early to get the pressure on, and then a Tiddy Milk there trying to get the pressure on Paris. So guys looking to make some progress. Nice early doors as Tiddy Milk, HKRT Damien and Pablo looking to run nose to tail as Damien goes deep there into the S's coming out towards the Mulsanne straight. So Damien just holding on from Pablo Jr. as they come around the final rounder before the Mulsanne straight. So Pablo tucked right up behind Damien now, so he's going to be making maximum use of that slipstream. Let's see if Damien can make Pablo can make the move and pull out that slipstream and dive down the inside into the first chicane. He's looking to make the move. He's made the progress. Dives to the inside. Is he going to get the move done before the chicane? He sticks it. He's there. He's cut on the inside. Damien looking to go around the outside. Speed Demon goes deep. Speed Demon goes deep back there. So he just managed to cling on to 7th place Speed Demon, but he's lost ground there. As Pablo now taking the lead, but he's now got Damien in the slipstream. Damien's going to be looking to make progress there. Speed Demon also got Cassian there in the slipstream. So as we now go back up, as Damien goes down the inside there, Pablo pulls out of the slipstream. It looks like he's stalled there, so looks like we've got a little battle going on up in front as well, but we'll just stay with these guys as they go through the second chicane on the Mulsanne straight. It looks like Pablo's got that stuck, so we'll just go up and check Tiddy Milk. Mohammed and Paris have both picked up half-second penalties, so something happened there with Mohammed. He's dropped back from first into third, so let's go back and see what happened with that battle there, as it looks like Rufus has managed to do there we go. So we've gone back. We're at the first chicane there. So first chicane, first lap, as Mohammed's already picked up the half-second penalty, and he's gone deep there. Oh, he's had a rotten first chicane there as he bounces over the curb, and he's done well to keep it on track there, as Rufus and Perez both then go through by the looks of things. Mohammed does cling on to second at this point, but Perez now pulls out of the slipstream of Mohammed Ali, and both carrying a half-second time penalty. But Grahamid is making use of that slipstream off of Rufus coming into the second chicane, but Paris is late on the brakes and keeps it tight on that inside as Grahamid goes deep again. Grahamid has had a rotten couple of chicanes there. He's just going to hold on from Tiddymilk, I think, as Tiddymilk now comes up behind Grahamid as they move on to the last part of the chicane, as it looks like we've got a spinner. Oh, it looks like we lost Castian there. Let's see what happened to Castian as he comes through the second chicane in behind HKRT Speed Demon. Oh, he gets all that shape and all the oversteer, and he spins into the barrier, and he's now at the back of the grid with all the work to do to try and catch up with these guys. As Grahamid Ali now has Tiddymilk pretty much in his bumper, and he's moved out to the slipstream. He's going around the outside. Can Grahamid Ali? Oh, it's all come together on the corner, the corner there. So, excuse me. So we're just keeping on Paris there. As Grahamid dives. Oh, Grahamid's got that all wrong with his braking, and Grahamid is really stuck out the inside and through HKRT Paris. So that the right-hander there. As we just come round, we're just having a look to see what happened there. It looks like he just got really late on the brakes, had nowhere to go, and Paris went, Tiddymilk went, but fair play to Grahamid, he has waited. Really rotten bit of luck there for Grahamid. He's had a bit of a stinker for this first lap, and he's now found himself going from pole down to 7th place, and he's got Vane there coming up on the inside to try and make a move on and put him down into 8th place. But Grahamid Ali really needs to give himself a shake and shake off this lap where he's just struggled, mistake after mistake so far. So he's got the pace in him, as Carlsberg now tries to make a move on him as well. It looks like he probably will lose the place to Carlsberg, as Paris, looks like we've lost Paris. Oh no, Paris was the guy that unfortunately was the victim from that turn. So they've all now taken their penalties. So let's see how this pans out for everyone. So Grahamid has now dropped back to 9th place. Absolutely rotten, going from 1st to 9th in the first lap. Vane up to 8th. Paris has also dropped back to 7th. He looks to dive up the inside of Carlsberg, but he gets it all wrong and goes deep into the horse curves. They've now got Vane for company. Carlsberg just holding off Paris now. Paris looking to make a move on Carlsberg as they come round the final curve there onto the last couple of chicanes as Paris goes up the inside. Carlsberg just looks like he kept that on the track there away from the white line as Grahamid dives up the inside of Carlsberg on the chicane, and he does make that stick a little really on the edge there, but he's made his stick and nobody has gone off. So he's certainly looking to make amends for his early incident. He's now looking to go up the inside of Paris onto over the start-finish straight into the first turn. Is Paris going to outbrake as Carlsberg goes past Vane? As Paris gets it all wrong, and he's just managed to keep it ahead as Carlsberg and Vane now battle it. Vane gets through on Carlsberg. Paris coming up behind and going up the inside of Grahamid Ali, going around as they start making their way to the Mulsanne Straight, and Grahamid Ali back up the inside of Paris again. They are fighting so hard in this race as Grahamid Ali goes wide and now drops back to 9th again. All that hard work, all that battling, and he's ended up back in 9th. But Carlsberg and Vane, Carlsberg there picked up a half-second time penalty. Vane's picked up a half-second time penalty, and Paris has just thought, you know what, stop these guys, I'm going to clear off, as he breaks away down the Mulsanne Straight to try and break that toe from Vane. As we go up and have a look through the field with Speed Demon, also with a time penalty going through the first chicane. Damien there with a 1 second time penalty going through the first chicane. Tiddymilk 2 second time penalty. It's all round there. So Pablo Jr. has made some excellent progress there. He's up in the 2nd place. All this battling going on around him, and he's just got his head down and really stuck it to everybody else. And he's now no penalties going into the 2nd chicane, going to go chase after Rufus, who has just cleared off. Rufus has just disappeared into the distance. So we'll go through the tyres in a second, but let's go back and just see what's going on back here where the battling is happening as Paris comes round the 2nd chicane with Carlsberg there with his half-second time penalty. Vane half-second, and Grahamid Ali just clinging onto the back of them there in 9th place. So looks like this will just sort of possibly settled down now for the next couple of turns. So we just have a little run through. Well, actually, we better stay here with Muhammad Ali because he looks like he's feeling really racy today. So let's see if he decides to go for a move on Vane coming into the right-hander here. He's not quite close enough, so he is going to have to sit tight and just suffer that pain there as we come up to the next set of turns, which are, I will get this right one day, Indianapolis Bend and Arnage Bends, I believe. So yeah, so coming up to Indianapolis and Arnage now with Muhammad Ali coming up behind Vane and Carlsberg still carrying those penalties, but they are going to serve those penalties now as they come around Arnage into the penalty zone. And that should then mean that Muhammad Ali does go past them, as he did look like he was close enough. But was he close enough to take Carlsberg as well? As we come down through towards Porsche curves, Muhammad Ali does make that stick as Castian looking racy at the back there, looking to try and make a move on Vane after his earlier spin. As they come around the Porsche curves, and Vane is just holding off Castian there, absolutely fighting for every inch of track there as they come through those curves and onto the next section going down towards the chicane. I will learn all the corner names one day, I promise. And Castian, he does make that move stick coming out of there. He must have got a really good exit as they now come down towards the final chicane. The final couple of chicanes taking him on as Carlsberg has now picked up another half-second time penalty. And Muhammad Ali is just stretching his legs now in 7th, looking to make amends for his earlier mistakes. And he's going back after Perez, so if he catches back up to him, that is going to be a battle to watch out for. As we go up, HKRT Speed Demon and Damien looking a little bit out of shape as though, oh, Perez got a big oversteer there. Let's have a little look, see what happened there. That looked like very good car control as he come around the turn then. Getting a bag load of oversteer. They're all well held, Perez there. Absolutely great car control to hold that. That's like these GR2 cars, when they snap, they do snap, and they can give you an absolute nightmare and spin you off into the barrier. We've got Tiddy Milk there up in 3rd place. Pablo still holding on 2nd. He's cleared off as Tiddy Milk has now picked up a 1 second time penalty. Rufus just clearing off into the distance. So let's get back down and see where Muhammad Ali and Perez are. Oh, Perez has come up and made a move on Speed Demon here. So Perez has now made a move on Speed Demon. So Perez is really pushing and really making progress. The Speed Demon looking to battle back. Speed Demon sucked in behind Perez there. As they go through the first chicane. Muhammad Ali lurking in the rear there, looking to now no longer chase Perez. Perez is looking like he's trying to put as much distance between himself and Muhammad Ali as humanly possible. As Muhammad Ali now stares at the back of Speed Demon's car, going down the Mulsanne straight into the 2nd chicane. Carlsberg there with his half-second time penalty. Castian managed to make that move stick and hold on to it through that last part of the lap, with Vane there in 10th place. So we can have a little look around the tyres now as some of these guys might be looking to come in at the end of this lap. Looks like Rufus there, he's on for another personal best, another fast lap of the race. He's on the soft tyres, looking fairly worn but not too bad. He looks like he's doing well on his tyres, to be fair. Fuel looking good as well, so he may well stretch that to 5 laps if he can make those tyres last, but certainly going to be going for that 4th lap, I would imagine. As Pablo comes around, also looking really good on the tyres, really saving those tyres. So not quite on the fuel, but he's going to be looking, I'm sure, to do that 4th lap as well. As Tiddy Milk there on hards. He's getting that hard stint done out of the way, so it explains why he's probably not making the inroads into the guys ahead. So he'll be looking forward to get on those faster compound tyres. And we got Damien there on the hard tyres as well. It looks like these guys know how to fuel save. It looks like we've got Muhammad Ali is called right up to the back of Speed Demon there. So we'll continue with the tyres, but we will be catching that one up. So Perez there on the hard tyres as well. Speed Demon on the hard and Muhammad on the hard. So these guys absolutely just getting this worst tyre compound out of the way nice and early, get it done and dusted, as Muhammad Ali does take Speed Demon there in the toe going down towards Porsche curve. So it looks like he has made that stick nice and clean there from Muhammad Ali. So he's brushed off those first couple of laps and he's now got his head down, sights locked on to the back end of Perez. So let's see what that battle does unfold into as the race does go on. Castellan then in 8th place. He's made a move on. Carlsberg's dropped back. That must have been that half-second time penalty, but Carlsberg coming back at Vane there, but he has gone deep. So Castellan there on the soft tyres, looking good on the softs, not looking too worn. Got enough fuel for another lap, as it does look like Pablo Jr. has come in to get rid of his tyres. Vane there looking good on the mediums, the only medium starter. So he's looking to he would have been looking to get further up on that faster compound, to be honest, but he does look like he has struggled a little bit. And Carlsberg there in 9th there, also on the mediums. So Pablo coming off the soft tyres, they're going to get off of those. He's safe fuel, but he's going to be up against, he's going to have to do at least 5 laps on one set of on both sets of compounds, or stretch them to 6 if he can, with the mediums and hards still to come. So watch this space. As Rufus now comes round, he has stayed out to do that 4th lap. Those tyres might not make another lap, so I would imagine he's going to come in for the end of this lap. And Tilly Milk there holding on to 2nd place. Damien in 3rd with Muhammad Ali for company. So Muhammad Ali has made it past Perez. So let's go back and have a little look, see if we can catch that little move there. Because that was as they were, so we're back to here, so there we go. So as they come down towards the final chicane, Perez has gone deep. So he's picked up a penalty for that, half-second time penalty. But Muhammad Ali's got the run on him and he dives up the inside on that chicane. Cracking move there from Muhammad to get that done on the brakes going into that chicane. So that's where that happened, and now Muhammad is starting to pull away from Perez. So nice and clean there, so that he can now push on and chase after Damien and get back up towards that podium. So go back down the field. Obviously we've gone back quite a way, so we were a little bit further ahead before we went back to find that little pass there. So as we come down the Mulsanne Straight with Rufus, the only one on the Mulsanne Straight until now. As he comes into the first chicanes, that gives you an idea of the type of gap that Rufus has managed to stretch out on those soft tyres going along that Mulsanne Straight. He's cleared the first section of the Mulsanne Straight and into that first chicane before anybody else has joined him. So he is one on his own at the moment. If he can make the strategy work, he's looking a good bet for the win. So Tilly Milk there in 2nd. Cracking race so far from Tilly Milk, performing really, really well to hold on to that 2nd place. As Damien now has Muhammad Ali right with him for company. Looks like Muhammad is really making use of that slipstream effect on that straight as they come through the first chicane and head off down towards chicane number 2. I don't think Muhammad is close enough, but he is going to be pushing to bridge that gap and perhaps battle him through the last part of the Mulsanne Straight. I thought that was going to be a dive then from Muhammad, but he's not quite close enough. Go back with Perez to the half-second time penalty there. Coming through the final chicane on the Mulsanne Straight with Speed Demon for company there in 6th place. Castellan there in 7th after his early spin. He's done well to bridge that gap and catch back up. He hasn't stopped yet though, so he's still running those soft tyres. Carlsberg there in 8th and Vane in 9th with Pablo down in 10th, but he has pitted. The only one so far to have pitted. So here, off he goes now down towards the 2nd chicane, all on his own. But at the end of this lap, we're going to see a few more coming into the pit. So it'll be interesting to see, because he was in 2nd when he pitted, where he does come out after that first lap on the hard tyres. Has he lost time? Has he done the undercut on Rufus? Has he been undercut by Titty Milk? We'll see as the guys come round to finish the lap. So Rufus there, one on his own, just coming round the other side of the Porsche curves now, heading home to finish lap 4. Titty Milk coming through the Porsche curves and on his way, all on his lonesome there in second place, as we now look to see who's coming into the pits. So Rufus has now come into the pits. Is Titty Milk going to follow suit? A long way back, but is he going to follow suit? Bear in mind he's on the hard tyres, so Rufus has got a lot of work to do now. He's created the gap, he's made good use of those soft tyres, but he really, as Titty Milk comes into the pits, he really does need to knuckle down, as it looks like Grahamid has got Damien as well. We won't go back for that. We will go back for that. I do want to see where Grahamid got Damien. So here we go. Grahamid there, right the way back. We'll fast forward after this to the pits. But Grahamid in the slipstream pulls out to the left. And he makes it stick before they even get to the turn, the right sweeping right-hander into the fast cambered left. So great move there from Grahamid, getting that done nice and early. So Grahamid now back up onto the podium before we make it our way into the pits, and he'll be locked onto the back end of Titty Milk. So we were with Titty Milk going into the pits. So we'll fast forward it back down to here. So we'll pick up Titty Milk pulling into the pits. As I was saying, so Titty Milk has now got the hard tyres out of the way, and he's going to be looking as Grahamid Ali comes into the pits as well. But Damien does carry on, so Damien has saved enough fuel to do another lap. But Damien going for that 5 lap. Oh, Damien has lost it on the chicane. Lovely little bit of a save on there to spin it straight back round and get back on his way. But he does lose the place to Paris, who also goes through on for another lap. And these two take the current lead of the race, going for that extra lap. So have they found a gap in the strategy there to push for that fifth lap? And are they going to make that overcut work? And Speed Demon has also come through. So we saw this in Lobby 1 as well. The HKRT guys really, really, really good and strong on the fuel saving, able to stretch this tank to that extra lap, and it's made a difference in Lobby 1. Are these guys going to be able to make that same level of difference in Lobby 2, as they are now first, second and third, with Rufus coming out of the pits a little bit behind on the hard tyres, but obviously he has pitted, so that gap isn't too big. So you would imagine, unless Rufus makes a mistake, he will come back out in first. And it looks like Pablo pitting has paid dividends, as he's come out in front of Carlsberg and Titty Milk. Carlsberg come from nowhere there. I'm not sure how Carlsberg's managed that, because he was at the back end fighting, and we've lost Grahamid Ali. So I think we need to go back and see what happened at the pits. Right, okay, so with the fuel here, it looks like Carlsberg has come out with only 38% fuel, as is Titty Milk with less fuel, and Grahamid's gone for a full tank. So these strategies have really skewed the standings, but we've got another stop to go. We've got a few laps to go, so it's going to be pretty spread out for the next stint as the strategies play out. But when they all come in for that final stop, it's going to really bunch up, and it'd be interesting to see exactly where everybody pans out, because at the moment you can't pay any attention to where they are position wise, because it could literally change on a dime if they can make the most of their strategy. So watch this space as Pablo continues his strong race, but Carlsberg there for company. Carlsberg going to have to come in early, having not fueled as long, so he's probably got 2 laps of fuel, looking at that, maybe coming in to get into that tank of fuel, to get round with that tank of fuel. So obviously that's going to cause him a bit of grief, but He's then going to have to go long on a full tank stint on the... I think he's going to be on the soft tyres. I can't remember what he was on before. But he's on the mediums at the moment. A bit of a shame he's probably not going to make the most of those medium tyres. And Tiddy Milk there in 7th. And Grahamid there in 8th, having put a full tank in on those soft tyres. As we know from Lobby 1, these soft tyres do go the full 4 laps. But they are pretty ropey at the end of the 4 laps. So be interesting to see whether Grahamid goes flat out and really maximises those tyres, or whether he does conserve fuel and tyres and try and either stretch it or go in with more fuel so he doesn't spend as long in the pits. And there we go, Castian there in 9th and Vane in 10th. So it's all very spread out, but Perez and Damien still within contact of each other. Damien in the slipstream of Perez there, but not able to make any inroads as Perez does go wide there. It looked like he had crossed that line, so hopefully he does avoid a penalty. The penalties can be brutal around there, but just crossing that white line you see there before you end up on the blue. But he has avoided the penalty there as they come round to the finish, the part of the lap. They are going to be diving into the pit, so this is where we're going to see where Rufus and Pablo come out. As Perez now dives into the pits, Damien dives into the pits. Is Speed Demon going to follow as he comes around? And he does indeed dive into the pits. So all 3 of the HKRT guys there getting that hard tyre stint done, 5 laps on the hards, all with similar fuel left. So they're going to come out pretty much nip and tuck really. So where's Rufus? Rufus coming across the start finish straight. So Rufus has got quite a considerable advantage over these guys as he now pushes down the straight to start lap 6 of this 13 lap race. Where's Pablo Jr.? Pablo Jr. coming round the final chicane there onto the start finish straight. Is he going to get past Perez? It does look like he's got enough, as Perez is still and Damien are still putting fuel in. So it does look like Pablo has secured that 2nd place, and it does look like Tiddy Milk has also managed to hit that. Grahamid Ali also coming through in 4th. So Grahamid Ali has managed to jump Perez and Damien and stay ahead of Damien in the pit stops there. So, and it looks like Castian is giving it a go to get through on these guys. But Perez and Damien have now come out. So again, the strategies is Castian now dives up the inside of Damien, but he's not quite close enough as he has to back off and tuck in behind Damien. But he is going to be close enough if you can stay with him through this set of corners as they go onto the Mulsanne straight. He will be close enough to make use of the toe. So we just watch as they come round the right-hander onto the Mulsanne straight. Does he stay penalty clear? Can he tuck in behind Damien and make that move before the first chicane? Of course, if he does, he will have to defend against Damien going into the 2nd chicane. But we'll see as they come down towards. So he's starting to move to the inside. He moves to the inside. He does complete the move before the chicane by the look of it. So on the brakes, right, left, and yep, he has got that move done. So cracking move there from Castian. He's really making that strategy work for him, considering his early spin that put him right at the back of the grid. He's really knuckled down, and he's made some serious progress to get through on these guys here. So he's now going after Perez down in towards the 2nd chicane, but he's not close enough. But can Perez keep it clean and prevent him going for an attack on the last part of the Mulsanne straight? It doesn't look like they're close enough. So we just go up, see, Castian there. Pablo and Tiddy Milk. So Pablo and Tiddy Milk look like they were battling there. Let's just wind back a little bit, see what's going on. The Tiddy Milk got it all wrong going into that turn. I wonder if there was contact actually. We'll just have a little look there. As Graham is quite a long way back. As we go down, we're over on the right hand side. He goes out the inside, but he does go deep. There's all Titty Milk there. He got deep, brake late, and did well to keep it on the track, to be honest. But he's really pushing to try and make a move on Pablo now, as they move down towards the Indianapolis bend and Arnage bend onto the Porsche curves. Little pause to check my my notes there for the corner names. As Titty Milk now at the inside. Titty Milk has now made the move going into Indianapolis and into Arnage. He makes it stick, and now they come round. Sorry, now they come round on Arnage onto the straight towards the Porsche curves. Really I should just call them rights and lefts. It'll make life a lot easier. But Pablo has now got back past because of the penalty, and Muhammad Ali sniffing all round Titty Milk's rear end, and he does also make the pass stick by the look of it, going into those Porsche curves. If they keep it, all three of these guys keep it together going through these curves. Lovely set of curves, really fast and really. They do really good when you get rid of it, but get it right even. But Pablo and Titty Milk look like they got it horribly wrong then. So let's have a little look, see what was going on there. So it looks like Pablo got a nice tucked in there, and he's just missed the turning a little bit, and he's gone wide, and he's going to pick up a penalty. But Titty Milk's gone even wider. So he's out of shape there before he even gets to that turn. So he's trying to tuck it back in now, and he just again misses that turn in. And he ends up right out on the gravel. Really rotten luck there for Titty Milk. It goes from second to third to fourth in a matter of corners. And Muhammad Ali from nowhere has now managed to take second place. And after everything that went on earlier on in the race, he is absolutely smoking it to get up to second. But he has got a lot of work to do to try and catch Rufus. Can he do it? I think it'll need a miracle, but he's going to damn well try. So we'll just go back down through. There's Paris. Oh, just caught Paris there, losing it out of the last chicane. So what happened to Paris? So he's come round on the brakes into the chicane. Looks good. Oh, he's caught a lot of curb there. Yeah, he's caught a lot of curb, and he's overcooked it, and he's ended up going straight on into the gravel. So now Castian from nowhere is on the back of Paris, and it looks like he's going to make that move. Is he going to make that stick? Are these going to go side by side into turn one? They are into turn two, but Castian has made that stick on the brakes there as Damien goes deep into the chicane there and comes out a little bit further back than he probably would have liked from Paris. So if he can make up a bit of space, bit of time there before they get to the straight, he could be on that toe, but it does look like he might be a bit too far back as Paris is looking to clean up his tyres. And even though he's made that mistake and he's dropped back, he has now got the advantage of that slipstream, so Castian doesn't. So that gap will get shorter. He's probably a bit too far back to look at making a move into the first chicane, but there is every chance if he gets a good exit off the chicane that he could make a move going into the second chicane. So we'll just stay with these guys a little bit, see how they do through that first chicane. Because Paris does keep it clean, gets on the throttle. Yeah, he's too far back, I think, to be having a look at the inside of Paris going into that chicane. So let's just get up and have a look, see what's going on there as Titty Milk and Pablo battling it out still as he comes towards the latter part of the Mulsanne straight. And round the Mulsanne bend, Titty Milk up the inside, but he has gone very deep. He's disappeared. Oh, he's gone into another dimension then. He's got that all wrong. No, I think he's got caught out by the slipstream. He's going to be carrying a lot more speed than he would. He's dived up the inside and he's just completely outbraked himself, and he's ended up in the gravel. He's let Pablo off there because I think he may well have had a move there, but he would have still served that penalty. He's now got dirty tyres, and he's going to be he's got it all to do now to try and get back up to the back of Pablo. But thankfully for him, he's got a real decent gap back to Castellan, who's just coming round Mulsanne Bend now. So, but he has got Paris company. Paris didn't quite catch up in the tow going down the straight, but he is on the back of him now as they come along the straight into the Arnage Bends. Sorry, Indianapolis Bend. Into Indianapolis. Into Indianapolis and then into the Arnage Bend. Oh, that is the Arnage Bend. My bad. I will get used to this one day. Maybe I'll stick to right left for the rest of the race. Castellan there has now been overtaken. I missed that in my trying to figure out the turn name. So Castellan has been overtaken by Paris through that section as we now come through into the Porsche curves. And Damien there in 7th. Speed Demon in 8th and Vane there in 9th. It looks like we have lost somebody. Who have we lost? It looks like we've lost Carlsberg. So Carlsberg appears to have disconnected. Not sure what's happened there, but it is something that can happen with these games. So as Pablo now comes into the pits, so he's going to be looking to do, so I think he comes out, he's going to be on lap 8. So he's going to have to do 6 laps or pit again. So Pablo, unless he knows something we didn't in lobby 1, he's up against it here. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. See what tyres he's put on as well. So tyres have gone on, they've refilled on the wear, but haven't changed on the screen yet. We'll come back to him when we see what fuel he's put in. Rufus there with a half-second penalty. Muhammad Ali coming on that Mulsanne straight there towards the first chicane. And City Milk there in 3rd, and a 2-second penalty there for City Milk. So he's having a bit of a nightmare, but he is still holding on to 3rd place. As Perez there in 4th, looking in the gap. Castellan, and he looks like he may well have broken the toe. Castellan though, looking for a fastest lap of the race. So cracking first sector there from Castellan as he ventures off down the Mulsanne straight, with Damien there with a half-second time penalty dropping back, and Speed Demon a little bit further back. So this may all change. I expect it to change. We have got one more stop to go, and everybody's running very different strategies now. Hard to keep up with it all, but Vane and Pablo there. So Pablo, what tyres is Pablo on? Pablo's come out on the medium tyres, so he hasn't fueled all the way. So I wonder if he's looking to get some medium running in, and then he's going to go and bang a set of softs on with low fuel and see what he can do in the last couple of laps. But a bit of a shame for Pablo that he's not made those stints go a little bit longer. It looked like he had the fuel and the tyres to do so, but he's working with a different strategy. The beauty of endurance races is it can be won and lost on strategy. So we'll see how he gets on. He's had a really strong performance so far, so it'd be good to see him make this work and get back up there. So watch this space. Back up to the top. So Rufus now coming round to serve his time penalty on his way down to the Porsche curves there. So he serves that penalty. Doesn't really impact him as he's got a long way out in front ahead of Muhammad Ali coming around the left-hand bend there and onwards. And City Milk going to be coming around and serving his 2-second penalty. Perez and Castellan there still within sight of each other, so Castellan not giving up just yet. Just checking my notes. It does. I was right. The first left-hander, the sweeping cambered left-hander, is Indianapolis, and Arnage is the second part of that, the right-hand over 90-degree right-hander. So we will stick with those because as I now believe that I know them. So the last third of the race, we will have those corner names in the commentary. I'm still learning this whole commentary business, so bear with me, guys. So Rufus now into the pits, and Muhammad Ali, for the first time since the beginning of lap 1, after putting it on pole, takes the lead of this race. But he will of course have to stop again, so as Tiddy Milk also into the pits. So Rufus will have the medium tyres to come onto, so he's going to be quicker, as I do believe. Oh, he might not be if Tiddy Milk has the sauce, but Paris goes through in second there, ahead of Rufus, as does Damien by the look of it. Is Damien going to come out in front of Rufus? Rufus just finishing refueling. You saw him pop in there to looking to leave the pits, which he duly does. Tiddy Milk and Castrian is into the pits, as Pablo does go through. So Vane also looking like he's going to go through, and Speed Demon. It looks like Speed Demon's had a bit of an incident. I'm not going to go back because I'm conscious that the video does only, the recording does only run for 60 minutes, so I won't go back. But it does look like Speed Demon had a bit of an issue there, so he has dropped back behind Vane. As Tiddy Milk now comes out of the pits in 8th. Cassius is still in the pits, going for that full tank of fuel, so he's going to be going for a final 4-lap stint on those medium tyres. So with others still to stop, this could play right into his hands. Nice clean air on those quick medium tyres. Let's see what he can do. As Grahamid now coming round on lap 5 on these, lap 4 on these soft tyres. No, lap 5 on these soft tyres. So lap 5 on the soft tyres there for Muhammad Ali by the look of it. That's a long way to push those tyres as he comes round Mulsanne Bend on up to Indianapolis now. So he's about halfway through the lap, time-wise I think, just over halfway through the lap time-wise. So those tyres are going to be absolutely screaming at him. As it comes down, so just go down and have just see him go through. And that's looks like he's got a bit of a technical issue, so he has backed off a little bit there. Might have been looking at trying to figure out what he's going to do about the fuel, because the fuel looking really low as well. So I wonder if he's kicking himself for not pitting, but hopefully he can cling on. But that fuel is looking very, very low as he comes up through Porsche curves. Does he have enough to hold on and keep that power up to perhaps make inroads into Rufus's lead and give him a 4-lap push towards the end of this race? As he comes round towards the pit entry. Yeah. And he does indeed dive into the pits. So I thought he wasn't then for a minute, but he has dived into the pits, so looking good. He made it with a little smidgen of fuel left, but he's now going to be probably looking for a full tank. I think he's going to be coming out on those medium tyres, see where everybody else comes through. But Paris now coming through past the pit entry. It does look like he may lose that place to Paris, but Paris has still got one stop to make, so that's going to be a battle coming out the pit lane, perhaps, with Damien there also going through for another lap. So they're going to be looking to do 3 laps on their final set of tyres as Rufus comes through the final chicane now over the start finish line, as Muhammad Ali is now refueling. So Muhammad Ali is going to come out behind Rufus, but how far behind? As Rufus now goes past the pit exit, Muhammad Ali with 50%, just over 50% fuel in the car. So it does look like he might have made inroads, but not enough to challenge early. But you never know, anything can happen. and often does, is Pablo now. Pablo back up into fourth behind Rufus, so he's got a long way to go on those tyres, and he has got another stop to make, because he's not going to be able to make that fuel last to the end of the race, so that is going to drop him down the order, but he is going to come out potentially with another with a soft set of tyres on, maybe, if he goes for the change. So we'll see what he decides to do. There's Muhammad Ali there in fifth place as things stand, before everybody finishes their final stops at the end of what I would imagine will be this lap. As he moves on to the miles down straight, Speed Demon there with a half-second time penalty in sixth, Pity Milk in seventh, and Castian back there in eighth place. Vane now in the pits as he comes out, 82% fuel, so he's on soft tyres, looking to run a little less fuel, but he is going to have to fuel save it a little bit to make sure they do the full 4 laps. But he is going to be quick on those tyres, so see how that pans out for him. But everybody else does look like they have stopped, with the exception of Speed Demon, who he was alongside, has stopped, and Pablo have stopped for their final time. And of course the HKRT guys up in first and second, but looking at where Vane could potentially be battling, that is going to be the guys probably from sixth place downwards, judging by where he was when he went into the pits. As Paris then comes down into Ornage, and then into Indianapolis and down into Ornage before he heads out onto the Porsche curves. And you can see there, big gap back to Damien. He's also got the half-second time penalty there. He is now going to serve and then head off on his way, as Rufus now comes round Ornage into the Porsche Benz with Pablo for company, but Pablo does have to stop again. So whilst he is going to try and battle with Rufus is going to think, hopefully going to think, I'm going to keep my nose clean here, I'm going to not battle too hard. If he goes to the lunge, I'll let him go. This race engineer has let him know what sort of strategy Pablo is on, of course. Excuse me, if he hasn't, could be up against it. So does Pablo dive into the pits? He does dive into the pits. So he's in for a change of tyres, potentially to go on to another set of softs, this being his third stop of the race. Will he change tyres or will he just fuel? As Paris and Damien also in the pits, but they're in their pit boxes with Paris already refueling, Pablo not yet in his pit box. So Rufus has cleared the HKRT guys, as has Muhammad Ali. So Muhammad Ali looking good for second place now as he pushes on. So there's Speed Demon also in the pits. As Pablo now refuels, Perez now coming out of the pits. Looks like he's going to come out just in front of Tiddy Milk, but has Damien come out in front of Tiddy Milk as Tiddy Milk sweeps around the outside? No, Tiddy Milk has kept that fourth spot, so he's possibly lost one to Paris. Can't remember where they were on track before those stops, but he's out on track now. As Castian there has held on to sixth, and Pablo has now come out of the pits in seventh, but he is on soft tyres, so he's got 3 laps, low fuel, to smash these lap times in and see if he can get past Castian, Damien, Tiddy Milk and Paris to try and get him back up onto that podium where he was racing most of the race. So we'll see. I think he's got too much to do, but stranger things have happened. Vane in 8th there, now out of the pits, having made his final stop, and Speed Demon in 9th, also out of the pits, having made his final stop. He must have had an instant when we talked about it earlier, because he was up there in those top 6 spaces before we went back to him, and he has dropped right the way down the field. So up against it now with him battling with Vane. So bit of a disappointing. I can imagine he's in there in that car, shaking his head, wondering what on earth went wrong. But I'm sure he'll bounce back next week with the rest of the HKRT guys as we go back up to Rufus there. So Rufus on medium tyres could be looking to go faster again with his fastest lap. Now he's dialed in, settled down, low fuel. His fastest lap and the fastest lap of the race was set on lap 2 of this race. So he would have been on three quarters fuel roughly, but on the soft tyres. So he's now on half fuel, but on mediums. The mediums do hold up really well around here and probably retain performance for a lot longer than the softs do. So it'd be interesting to see if he does manage to pump in a faster lap of the race than his lap on lap 2. As Mohammed Ali now comes round Arnage up towards the Porsche curves. And then go back, we got Paris now also coming round Arnage with a good gap back to Damien. So these looking close. Damien looking close with Tiddymilk, sorry there. So both going to serve their half-second time penalties, so neither is going to be heavily impacted over the other. Although it looks like that isn't the case, because Damien must have picked his half-second time penalty up later in the lap, and that's going to carry over to the next lap. So he's on Tiddymilk now. Thought Paris was in the wall then. Tiddymilk now to get his head down, bring that half-second back, especially considering there is a half-second coming his way from Damien. So that will close up as we go into the last 2 laps of the race. Pablo there in 6th, motoring along. He has got Castian not far behind him for company, but Castian is on the hards with Pablo on the soft, so you would expect Pablo to pull away from Castian. Vane in 8th there on the soft tyres, looking to make some progress, and Speed Demon languishing behind in 9th. As we go back up to Rufus, approaching the first chicane. You can see on the mini-map in the top right-hand corner that Mohammed has made some good progress on Rufus. Earlier on, we were looking at Rufus, that full stretch of Mulsanne Straight to the first chicane ahead. He was entering the first chicane before anybody came round onto the straight. So Mohammed was about halfway along there. So you do wonder, had Mohammed not had such a rotten opening lap full of issues, that whether or not this could have been a really close battle between Rufus and Mohammed, we will never know. As Rufus now comes around the second chicane, with Mohammed just approaching the second chicane. And Paris there in 3rd. All on his own with Damien. Oh, Damien has picked up a second penalty to go with his half-second. So Tiddymilk, half-second as well. But there's a second difference there, so you'd imagine that gap, whilst it looks big now, it is going to close right up as we will then once that penalty is served, we'll be heading into the last lap of the race. So these two could be battling it out for 4th place come the end of the race. And Pablo there in 6th. He's got a lot. I think he's got too much to do. He is on those soft tyres, of course, but he is quite a long way back. But he has pulled quite a sizable gap from Castian. Half-second up on his personal best. Can't see which lap that was. It may well have been lap 2. They normally highlight it in blue in the list there, but there isn't one highlighted in blue. So imagine it was lap 2, or the game is glitched there. But he's certainly motoring anyway. Castian there in 7th. Vane all out of shape. He's lost loads of time Now Speed Demon is now right on the back of him, and Vane has a half-second time penalty. So as they come down the last part of the straight, into Mulsanne Bend, we'll see what Vane all out of shape on the inside there. Looks like we might end up losing a little bit. We have gone back a few times, so I might have to move the video on, move the recording on a little bit to try and make some time back whilst this is all spread out. Go and check we're not going to lose any battles by doing so, and we'll fast forward on a little bit to bridge that gap, make sure we can keep it all on one track. So as we go through onto the final lap, Rufus there looking for that fastest lap of the race now. Mohammed there coming round onto the Mulsanne straight, good gap between them and Paris. As we've got Damien, Tiddy Milk. So those two, despite those time penalties, they haven't bunched up quite as close as we perhaps thought they would. So Tiddy Milk looks like he may be struggling a little bit. Pablo is still in 6th, Castro is 7th, Vane 8th, and Speed Demon in 9th. So these guys all spread out. So we'll bring it along a little bit to make sure we get this all done in one shot. Speed Demon is in front of Vane now. Apologies for this, it's just the PlayStation recording only allows for up to 60 minutes, and obviously a 50-minute race can go a bit longer than you expect when talking. So it looks like we've managed to get a bit of time back there as Rufus now comes round for the final minute of his lap, coming round into the final set of bends before round the Porsche curves now. Nice and smooth with Mohammed there in 2nd. Does look like Paris has caught up to the back of him, so perhaps Mohammed has had a bit of an issue. He's had a bit of a up and down sort of race. His lap times have looked good. Oh, something's gone wrong with Mohammed. What's gone wrong with Mohammed there? Or has something happened and he's given the place back maybe? Not sure what's going on with Mohammed there, but he's got a massive gap to Paris, and then he's just sort of, he didn't have a time penalty. I'm not sure what's going on there, but he's holding 2nd. He's not in the time penalty window, so he's let Paris through, and then he's accelerated. So maybe he's just paying Paris back for the earlier incidents and letting him take that place. If that is the case, excellent sportsmanship there from Mohammed to make sure that that's the case. And in that little confusion, we've missed not only Rufus crossing the line, but also smashing the fastest lap of the race there. Oh no, it looks like it wasn't Rufus smashing the fastest lap of the race. Definitely flashed up purple there for a minute though. Maybe it's Paris. Paris now coming round the final set of bends as Mohammed goes deep. Paris might have been purple, that might have been what we were picking up. So is Paris going to snatch fastest lap from Rufus as we come round the final chicane? Just enough fuel in the tank. No, it doesn't look like it. That must have been a little glitch as Paris crosses the line in 2nd. Mohammed takes 3rd. Damien coming around the final chicane in 4th. And then and Pablo, he's managed to get 5th. Tiddy Milk's dropped way back. Must have had a bit of an instant there. And Tiddy Milk crosses the line in 6th place. We got a bit of a gap there to Castian, so we'll just bring it along as Castian crosses the line in 7th. And then Speed Demon coming across, final chicane there, take 8th place. And then, where is Vane? What's happened to Vane? Oh, Vane's run out of fuel. So it does look like we will miss Vane there, crossing the line. but he has run out of fuel just coming round the last chicane. That gives me enough time as he comes round to just thank you all for watching. That was round 2 of the GrTwosdays Championship for Lobby 2, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week for wherever the will may take us. Thanks for watching.